Tell me this is just acting. Go on. Say it with a straight face. Because for the next 40 seconds, I want you to forget interviews. Forget PR smiles. Forget what you want to believe in. Just remember how it felt the very first time. You saw that look. The pause that lasted a beat too long. The smile that didn't feel rehearsed. The silence that screamed louder than dialogue ever could. Acting doesn't linger after the cameras stop rolling. Acting doesn't follow you into behind-the-scenes footage, into unscripted glances, into moments that were never meant to be caught. And yet, here we are, years later, still asking the same dangerous question, still arguing with ourselves, still watching clips like evidence in a trial we're afraid to win. Because if this was only acting, why does it feel unfinished? It starts innocently. To young actors, one breakout drama, a fictional love story ones. The way he leans in before realizing where he is. The way she avoids eye contact. Then sneaks a glance when she thinks no one's watching. The laugh that comes too easily. The pause that comes too late. These aren't scripted beats. These are instincts. And instincts are dangerous because they betray what logic tries to bury. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because chemistry on screen is one thing. But chemistry that survives time. That survives distance, fame, different projects, different lives. That's not supposed to happen. Actors are trained to turn it off. To compartmentalize. To move on. So when fans say they're just professionals, it sounds reasonable. Until you realize professionals don't look like. They're bracing themselves every time they stand too close. And then there are the interviews. Yes, the interviews. Where questions are harmless but answers are. Careful where names are avoided. Where sentences trail off. Where jokes feel like shields. Where smiles arrive half a second too late. Like they had to be approved internally before being released. He laughs and deflects. She smiles and redirects. Neither ever denies, they just dance around the truth like it might burn them if spoken aloud. Coincidence. Or strategy. Because here's the scandalous thought no one wants to say out loud. What if something did happen? But not when everyone was watching. What if it wasn't a public romance? Not a headline-worthy affair. Not something that could survive the pressure cooker of fame? What if it was quieter? Messier, badly timed. What if it was the kind of connection that shows up before you're ready? Before you know who you are? Before the world gives you permission to choose love over ambition? That kind of almost love is the most dangerous of all. It doesn't fade. It haunts. And maybe that's why every interaction feels loaded. Because unresolved feelings don't disappear. They just learn how to hide. They turn into what-ifs. Into tension. Into nostalgia disguised as professionalism. Into a story that fans keep digging up because the energy never truly settled. Now pause for a second. Ask yourself this. If this was nothing, truly nothing, why does the question still exist? Why does the fandom split itself in half every time their names appear in the same sentence? Why do people who swear it's just acting sound like they're trying to convince themselves more than anyone else? Because denial is easier than disappointment. And believing it was real means accepting something painful that timing can ruin. Even the most intense connections. That some love stories don't end with confessions, but with silence. That not everything meant to be felt is meant to be kept. Here's the cliffhanger no one can resolve. Maybe it was acting. Or maybe the acting was the only safe place they were ever allowed to feel that.